So you're taking the B2 First Speaking exam and you want to get high marks. Of course I want to get high marks. Well, to get the highest marks, you must use discourse markers. Discourse markers? Yes, discourse markers. Firstly, why must we use discourse markers in the B2 First Speaking exam? Well, you don't need to, but if you want to score the highest marks in a category called Discourse Management, then you have to use some discourse markers. If you don't know what discourse management means and you don't know about the Cambridge assessment scale for the speaking exam, then watch my video all about it. Secondly, what are discourse markers? English speakers use discourse markers to organize their ideas. Sometimes it can let the listener know what we are about to say. Sometimes they can give the speaker time to think before they speak. And sometimes they mean absolutely nothing. Yeah, we just say words and they don't mean anything. But then again, what gives any word its meaning? Where does a meaning derive from? Perhaps no words actually have any meaning, and the meaning of words is found in between the words, or the interactions between... Oh, can you shut up and get on with the video? Okay, yeah, sorry. Let's begin. Discourse marker number 1.
To be honest,
we can use this at the beginning of our speech or at the end of our speech, and it lets the listener know that we are being honest. We normally say this when we think that the listener will be upset or disappointed about what we say. Hey Bruce, do you like my hair?
To be honest, Monica, I think that you look like a pig with a beard. Hey?
No, I do not. This would be a great expression to use in part 1 when you are talking to the interlocutor, or in parts 3 and 4 where you must interact with your partner and sometimes you might disagree with them. When you disagree with them, say, to be honest. But, and this is important, make sure you use this correctly. Bruce, do you have a brother or a sister?
To be honest, I have a brother.
by the way,
we use this at the beginning or the end of our speech, and we use it to introduce a new topic of conversation. I think that opening a clothes shop would be a great way to attract more visitors to the town, because I really love shopping.
Well, that's only true if the tourists enjoy shopping, Monica. Maybe not all of the tourists do. And by the way, do you think that museums could attract more tourists, Monica?
This was part 3 of the speaking exam, and Bruce used "by the way" to change the focus of the conversation. Often students will say, "And what do you think about this?" That does not sound natural. Instead, say, "By the way, what's your opinion on this?"
actually,
This has 2 uses. The first is to give the listener information that they are not expecting. Another way you can say this is "as a matter of fact." It means the same thing as "actually" in this situation. Bruce, do you think it's better to be employed or to be your own boss?
Well, actually, I think it's better to be employed. If I were my own boss, I would drink all day. Right now, I'm employed and I drink all... to be honest, I think they're the same. Yeah.
Notice that Bruce also used another discourse marker in his response. Well. Here, well means nothing. Nothing. English speakers use this all the time to give themselves a few seconds to think before they speak. So if you are struggling, if you cannot think of what to say, say, well, to give yourself a few more seconds. Not only will you give yourself time to speak, but you will also get extra marks for using a discourse marker, and I just used an inversion. If you want to know more about inversion, then please watch my video all about inversion. Very important advanced grammar for B2 First, and I want you to pass. And because I want you to pass, I made the video. And because I made the video, you'll watch it. Yes? Yes. The second use of actually is to correct someone's mistake.
So Monica, how is your boyfriend today?
Actually, right now, I'm between relationships, so basically, I'm single and ready. Monica also used another discourse marker here, the word basically. We use basically to summarize the most important aspect of what we are trying to say. Monica saying, basically, I'm single, means that the most important thing that you must understand from Monica's speech is that she is single. What a great thing that is for us men. Lucky us.
Anyway.
We can use this to return back to an original topic of conversation. Yeah, I mean, museums could attract tourists, but actually, I think they're quite boring. Don't you?
Oh, I love museums, especially history museums.
History museums? You mean museums that have like ancient artifacts and stuff? Wow, bros, I didn't expect you to like stuff like that.
Yeah. Anyway, do you think museums would be a good idea?
Here, Bruce is using the word anyway to move the conversation from himself and back to the exam question. So if you find yourself with your partner talking about something that isn't relevant to the question, use anyway to get back on track. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess museums could be a good idea. Monica also used 3 other discourse markers. I mean, yeah and like. And again, these mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just words with no meaning, but they give you time to think. What is your name? Yeah, I mean, like, Toby. Okay, don't do that. That's really weird. But if you are given a difficult question, maybe in part 4 of the speaking exam, where the questions are usually about more abstract topics, about your opinions, for example, to give yourself time to think, well, I mean, yeah, like, give your answer. If you want to know more about the informal uses of like, then watch my video all about how to use like.
In other words,
we use this to summarize something in a simple way. In other words, use this at the end of your speech to give the interlocutor or your partner the general idea of what your point is. Do you enjoy going shopping?
Rarely do I go shopping. When I was a kid, my mum used to take me all the time and I hated it. So, in other words, no, I don't, you know?
Bruce also used another discourse marker here. You know. And this does not mean that the examiner knows anything. It means nothing. You can use it before you start speaking to give yourself time, or you can use it at the end of your speech to let the examiner or your partner know that you have finished. So those were some discourse markers. Oh yeah, and so is another discourse marker. I use it all the time to introduce ideas. All the time. Watch every single one of my videos. So. Lovely word. Great. Fantastic. So those were some discourse markers. Make sure you learn them and actually try to use all of them in your speaking exam. It's really easy to do so, and it will increase your marks in discourse management, and discourse management is 20% of your total marks, so it's important. Anyway, if you liked the video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment down below. My name is Toby, and this was Smash English.